My name is Clara Towson, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom. Yeah.
My name is Zainab Summers, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paulini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hello, everybody, and well, let me just make sure I can get a good background here. The overlay's gone a little bit funny. No, it's gone a bit there. How are you doing anyway? I'm James. I'm going to hopefully be able to sort this out just a tad as my that just starts to slow down a bit there. And well, welcome to the final that is between Amanda Anisimova, who is having one of the breakout years on tour, it very much feels like at this stage, and himself and myself again, going along there. Who's having a sort of a breakout year on the tour in terms of getting herself right to the top of the charts almost. And we've also got here Linda Noskova, who has had a brilliant week to get herself to the final. Again, I'm just trying to sort out what's happening here because my face is not popping up at all. They are just currently practicing serves at the moment. I will go through once I've got an idea. I am here, don't worry. So this really has gone quite bizarre. You're going to hear my voice. We're going to find a way to try and fix this, as you can't see me. But as you said, between these two players, well, there's my face at least. That's a good start. And I click that. Okay, I think we are looking a damn sight better than we did do. So what I need to do is then go face. Let's go face. And then come on screen. Do it for me. And then we go back up here. There we go. Sorted. So you can see my face. We will try and get up a little bit of a score graphic as well. A little bit of a score graphic as well to keep me a tick, ladies and gentlemen. Whilst I do that, as we should be in for what should be a pretty good final. In theory, hopefully it goes all according to plan on that one there. And then I go we're going to go like that. We're going to go like that. That works. We've got a score graphic, and we will go along from there. So at the moment, as you see, Anisimova has already taken the first point and is already 30 love up. Let's see who is in the chat. Sorry for everyone for the bit of a weird start. Good, Jake. Good to see you this morning. I guess it's been a while since I've done a stream, so it's all been good and fun. So 40 love at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. 40 love as we continue along here. So please do put in the chat who you think may end up winning. You got to favour Anisimova just the way she played. I mean, she was phenomenal against Coco Gauff. Phenomenal against Coco Gauff. What was it yesterday? I mean, all these days, it's one of those extended events, so it sort of like drags its time out and whatnot as it goes along. Has a bit of poor backhand there from Noskova, gives Anisimova the first game pretty comfortably, holds to love, which would be good if you're from Anisimova's camp. She seems to like playing in Asia, it seems, or at least at the continent of Asia. The last time, she certainly was in, I believe she pulled out Dubai, or at least didn't go too far in Dubai. But of course, the tournament prior to that, back in February, Anisimova, of course, won the title in Doha, her first 1,000 event of her career, really. Really a sort of like a standout performance and a standout result, and has almost sort of followed that bit of a Yasmin Paolini from last year's season, whereby going from winning one of those titles in the Middle East, getting to a couple of Grand Slam finals, and really trying to cement herself right to the top of the game, which she has done incredibly well, you would say. I mean, of course, we know about the harrowing loss that she had in the Wimbledon final, but at least recovered that with a much more respectable result in that US Open final. Yes, indeed. She didn't win the US Open final, but she at least put in a much stronger performance. Jake, I can see in the chat, is going for Anisimova for the victory here. Noskova here has already got the first point, but of course we cannot discount Noskova, somebody who has been incredibly consistent. Has been incredibly consistent throughout her, playing, last couple of playing years, getting herself to this final, always staying in around about 30 in the world. Always staying around about 30th in the world. I've got my Anisimova t-shirt on too. Oh God, yeah, Jake's got everything sort of sorted there, which is excellent to hear. Backhand here from Anisimova up the line, forward by Anisimova, just controlling the rallies. It feels like at the moment, controlling them well. Forehand there. Cross court, just a perfect winner as it is planted along there. Backhand into the net though there by Linda Noskova. At the moment. Oh, did that just stay in? Or no, just... Oh, no, it was an ace. It was counted as an ace. So Anisimova sort of stayed still as though, no way could possibly be an ace. The Noskova here looking to hold on, at least get a hold on the board. Goes down the tee, forehand up the line, looking but double faults though. So we are at deuce. So, and it was something that plagued Anisimova last, not Anisimova, but it plagued Noskova last year. Was the double faults? It was the double fault. It was no last year, yesterday in the match against Magula when she got really tight at times. It really did plague her as she was in that match and those big crucial moments. But she was able to come through, which was excellent. Good backhand there from Anisimova gives her the first break point. Of course, Anisimova famed for her backhand. It's incredibly powerful, incredibly strong, and you really don't want to be sticking any balls short or invitingly into that part of the court. Go cross court there from Noskova, goes into the net. It's a second serve. Backhand cross court, wonderfully placed. On the defensive already. Backhand cross court again, and the early break goes to Anisimova. Jake, you're asking a question, which is fantastic. Please do, if anyone's watching, which I can see people are, do ask me questions in the chat. I'm more than happy to try and answer them. So you're saying it's a percentage that Anisimova definitely ends up winning a major. Oh, that's always the big question. I would say, I mean, you've got to take the fact you've got a 128 player field. She has though the ability to beat the big names. Beat her ability when she did to beat Swiatek in that run to the US Open final to bash those demons, and she showed her ability to beat Sabalenka. I would certainly say I would give it a 30% chance, but I know that sounds low, but that's actually quite high. Like I would say, to win up another major, I would have Sabalenka around about 40%, Swiatek around about 40%. I just thought you always got to take into account you've got a whole field, you've got the players that are currently there, the players that could come up. But I would say that I'm not a betting man, and we do not condone betting on this channel. But it's if I was a betting man, I certainly would say putting money on it would be you probably will end up getting your return back at some point. I think that she's done after her father's death was remarkable. It certainly is. It certainly has been. Also taking the couple that with taking the mental health break. I think that was really good work of her, and just shows that she's come back a stronger player. She's phenomenal at this stage, and as Jake's pointing out, there is a percent. I certainly see there's a chance of we could even be looking at the Australian Open. Could be a place that she could look to pick up a title. Works really well on fast courts. Can also play well on slow ones, as we've seen with her ability to do deep runs at the French Open on the clay. Or Noskova here, those just using all the court there to get a little bit of a small lead up on the scoreboard. And of course, a lot of the big questions are going to be what's Noskova, another one of these Czech production line, I said that in a good way, by the way, Czech production line players. What's going to be her? Well, what's her ceiling? Could she be somebody that she certainly has a game that could get herself into top 20? Could it get as high as the top 10? Another fantastic backhand winner from Anisimova, though, just sets it up and sets it loose. I'll tell you something, the way she was able to tee off on that ball there, the US Ryder Cup team could have needed her help in the first couple of days of last week. Yes, that's a Ryder Cup joke. And no, I'm not going to start making loads of golf jokes on this channel. I always like to keep references to all sorts of sports. This is always good to keep a thing. Is she got the best backhand on tour? I think certainly she does, both men's and women's game. You've got to say that Anisimova has the best backhand. It has the best style. It's actually one of the rare examples of it being a weapon, not just a ball, not just a shot that you can use in neutral. She hits a brilliant forehand there, and has already stealed a quite quick march in this final. Similar to the match with Coco Gauff, where she ran off the blocks really, and it's almost a bit of a trademark at the moment. Anisimova's doing is quick starts, getting ahead early. I mean, her serve has really improved, which is another factor that you could potentially mention. her serve has really improved, so that she's actually holding a much higher percentage of her service games, and coupled with the fact of her ability to return so well from that backhand side. I mean, you send it back though without any real desire on it, you're gonna be toast. As you can probably tell, I'm happy to wax lyrical about Anisimova's game. Really, I'm been so impressed this year with how it's developed. The whole percentage is going up. Okay, mentally things, she fell apart at the beginning of the year, but has really come together now. James, you seem in a very chippy mood. I try to be very chippy. You must be on high. I was very happy for United to win yesterday, clean sheets. Lehman's looked really good in goal. But there's all sorts of stuff we have with Norrie. Hopefully you can still hear me okay, everybody. As I just heard like a bum 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 on my headphones. I'm hoping that's not too bad. But Cameron Norrie won yesterday. I was very happy with. We've had some great. We had a great run for Sonia Cartel, getting to the quarters of Beijing. Big result for her to be able to get that deep. We've got the darts coming up. With the World Grand Prix. I'm looking forward to that. It's the weather's starting to dip. It's nice and sunny today where I am. We have just sort of survived a bit of a battering with a storm in the UK over the weekend. But that coupled with the fact of the Ryder Cup win last week, it's all going pretty okay, really. And you probably noticed I've not been here for a while. For any regular sort of viewers of the channel, mainly down to, I think, like a lot of us, we sort of experienced maybe a bit of burnout around or just after the US Open in terms of the amount of what was supposedly important tennis that we needed to take in. But coming into the end of the year, granted it was still a bit down by the fact that we're not going to see Neil Draper until next year, until on the main tour. Even though, as you probably have guessed, I have booked tickets to the UTS event in London to go see Jack, who's taken a wild card into that event. Of course, the one who won 2 years ago in London there at the UTS. But it just seems like we've got some exciting things to see going to the end of the year. I mean, I'm really curious to see. We've got a world number one battles on both tours at the moment, which is at least really good to see. One between Swiatek, one between Swiatek and Sabalenka, who's going to finish year-end number one on the women's tour. On the men's tour, is go for a non-alcoholic quite a bit at some point. Absolutely, Jake. Hopefully, we'll catch to one of these sort of tennis tournaments dotted around, certainly Europe at some point would be fun. Would be brilliant. Celebrate United perhaps winning 2 games of football in a row. Well, I don't hold your hopes yet. We've got Liverpool next after the international break. So maybe, hopefully. I mean, that poor guy who's not cutting his hair until United win 5 games in a row. I mean, he's going to end up having, neck problems by the time that hair's grown out properly. But at the moment, 30 all. As make sure we stick to the match in hand. But like I said, we've also got Sinner and Alcaraz. Okay, so. I'm probably part of a brigade that's. I'm part of a group that kind of feels as though I'm slightly concerned with the domination that we're getting from those 2 players at the big end of the tournaments. Go on, Tommy, good one. But I'm hoping that going forward, we're going to get some more players that are going to start breaking through. It's a real shame that the two guys on the men's game that could have been those disruptors in Draper and Shelton really been blighted by injuries. I mean, Shelton did not look good at all against that match against Goffin a few days ago, and he's got a long way to go to get back to full fitness. But at least in the women's game, we've got Anisimova being a factor, but Google's consistency, Goff, can turn it on at big events just like that. A real, real smorgasbord of players that are disruptors to the 2 main players in the game, in Sabalenka and Swiatek, which is really heartening to see. Really, that you're going to have that sort of competitive sport where you're going to have those big competitions that are not going to be dominated by just one player or another. As we get Noskova with a battle with a double fault, she's just not going to be able to get over the line. She was 40-30 up, as though being drawn back to juice, which is always good. Like I said, anyone, Jake's talking in the chat, which is fantastic. Keep it up, Jake. Any questions? Do please put it in that. But anyone else, please do comment. wonder if we see any other sort of regulars popping along. As of course we have this final. It's the penultimate WTA 1000 final of the year, with Wuhan taking place next week, or what should be affectionately known, which is the Arena Sabalenka Open, because she just does not lose that and has won it 3 times and will probably win it a 4th time. She's probably looking forward to defending her title there. Good backhand there from Noskova, backhand by Anisimova, backhand by Noskova, forehand cross court from both players. Down the line from Anisimova on the defensive, comes forward, goes cross court for the winner, and is got advantage. She is looking strong at the moment, Anisimova. I hope it doesn't go too quickly. I've had a small snack just to provide me through till tea. Oh, no, he's not advantage. She's actually 4 love up. Crikey. Oh, what's happened to McIntyre? What have you done? No. Yeah, I've had a small snack to bide me over, so I don't need this match going on too quickly. Otherwise, I'm going to be waiting a while to eat it. While afterwards. Go on, Tyrrell. Okay, forehand. Just go slightly out there. First point Noskova's got on the board. Jake's got a question, which is fantastic. I resonate to vulnerable players. Amanda's heartbreak was similar to mine. Do well, my next Azarenka, basically. Azarenka did win two Grand Slams, Jake. Remember that. Two Australian Opens back to back. I know it was a few years ago, but was top of the game really well. So I wouldn't. Okay, but we all get our hearts broken by these players and the results that they have. But I'm sure Anisimova will fill that gap. I don't know how long Azarenka's got. I think she's outside the top 100 now, which is unfortunate, and she'll have big questions to ask about her career, really, which is, where does she want it to go? What does she want to still do? Does she still want to continue playing? Maybe move into doubles if she feels as though that could give her longevity if she wishes to remain in the sport. Anisimova here, 30-15 up. This has been rapid. We're not even 20 minutes on the board. Anisimova could be 5 love up in the first set. Could already be 5 love up in the 4 sets. Flying by. Oh, can't get a proper connection on that, but it was just long out. What was it? No, it was good. It was good from Anisimova. 40-15. This is flying. This is absolutely flying. Please do stick with us, everybody. That would be fantastic. But yeah, it's Anisimova here for a 5 love lead in the first set. Plants the serve down, out wide. And it's, wow. Okay, that is domination in the first set. That is real domination in the first set. Crikey. Just keeping an eye on what's happening in the Djokovic match. Hackman serving for the first set in the Djokovic match. Crikey. Oh, no, I went for... okay, personally, it was similar to... Okay, I thought you meant heartbreak in terms of she was going to be that next Azarenka for you, that she's going to be so close but so far. Let's go. Okay, I think that Azarenka retires. Amanda will be next break. No, yeah, it's everyone's probably used. It's tough losing a parent, especially as young as probably yourself, Jake, and Anisimova with a father as well. They're not. It's not as though it's like a granddad where there's an expectation where that could happen. It's literally your first parent, and you'd expect them to be alive up until you're probably in your 50s and 60s, and for them to disappear in your 20s, whilst you still need sort of parental figures, is a big hit for them. It's a big hit for them, and she's doing really well. She's doing really well. To keep fighting on and use that as almost like motivation. Sabalenka does the same. Her father died young, and she uses her desire to make her name Sabalenka, the Sabalenka family, a real, make a mark in the world with that name is really endearing. It is really endearing, especially for, she's from somebody from a nation that, okay, politically has isolated itself from the world, but generally from that sort of, Eastern European bloc where you need to do really phenomenally well to break through. Like, it isn't just you can win 1 or 2 slams and become a household name. You need to win 6, 7, 8 Grand Slams just to be known. Just to be known on those on the world stage, really, and she's doing really well for it. Noskova here, though, looking just to get herself on the board. Doesn't want to get bageled in this set, preferably. Oh, just into the net there, though, by Anisimova. I think Noskova here is looking okay to potentially get her first service hold. Get some water on. Goes down the tee, and so we just gets to it. Forehand pashed away. Okay, this is much better from Noskova at the moment. Really going well there. Where do you put Sabalenka among the greats? Good question. I would say, give me a tip, Graham. List. So at the moment, she is currently sitting. She's sitting at 4. She's got 4 Grand Slams at the moment: the 2 Australian Opens and the 2 French Opens. Sorry, the 2 Australian Opens and the 2 US Opens. I mean, at the moment, she's in the same company as Naomi Osaka, Kim Clijsters, Arata Sanchez Vicario, Hannah Maliakova, Shirley Fry, Elizabeth Moore. That's the company she's keeping at the moment, which is a phenomenal company to keep. But there is, it's certainly, at this stage, you have her as a with those lots as greats of the game in their time period. She's probably going to have to, to be considered a true legend of the game. She's going to have to go to the levels of a 9 Grand Slam, 12, which is where the likes of Monica Seles sits, where Susan Longland sits. Now Navratalova's on 18. I mean, that's a large title. That's a large one to go for. Everett's at 18 as well. Billie Jean King's at 12. It's very much, I would say, is a great at the game. Legends of the game status, though, it's still a bit while off yet for her, and I think also a factor that will affect that is she will need to start winning titles on other surfaces other than hard courts. Oh Jesus, Robert, is that going to come back? Nope, it's okay there. She's going to have to go. Hey Jean, it's good to see you in the chat. Please do comment as you're going on. That'd be fantastic. As Anisimova here has taken the first set 6-love. Unfortunately, Jake, you got me so wrapped up in that question, I completely forgot to concentrate on the tennis. How do you think she'll get to 10 or 11? I would certainly say she'll get double the. I think she'll definitely get double the amount she has at the moment. So I think she'll definitely get to 8. Anything beyond that, and then I don't know at this stage. I'd only say that because we don't know what talent is going to pop up in, say, 2 or 3 years' time, who could potentially be a major challenger. I mean, she's also in a very, very dominated field at the moment. She's got Swiatek, we've got Goff, who's going to be there for longevity. Anisimova's a factor. Pegula could beat her on a day. If she's on a bit of an off day and Pegula's on a worldy day. There's a load of young talent that's coming up the rankings. With Andreeva, potentially Maya Joint could be somebody, and loads of others in the junior lineup. So we have to wait and see how those play out and where she ends up being from there. But certainly, I'd say 8. Anisimova, the most improved player this year. I completely agree with you there, Jean. I think you're good there. That's a fair prediction. I would probably say the same. Yeah, as you say, it's one of those weird things where we go, oh yeah, this player could win X number of Grand Slams or this much, and be like, well, we have to factor in the fact that there is probably some wonder kid or a few wonder kids that are currently in the juniors that we know nothing about, who are gonna burst onto the scene in 27, 28, and could dominate the sport or could really take away those Grand Slam titles. I mean, and it's a factor we always need to consider or always need to think about. Anisimova, for example, she may have, we could be in a situation where next year she could win a Grand Slam, or we could be in a situation where actually, maybe like the Paolini a bit, where those two finals were the chances to be able to pick up Grand Slams, and other players are gonna overtake going forwards. And we take snapshots in time, and nothing's ever a given. I mean, although it feels, and it's my only hope really in the men's game is that although it feels at the moment we have this sort of like stranglehold of the major titles between those two players, Sinner and Alcaraz. We don't know. Fonseca may become a really strong player in 2 years' time. There may be another wonder kid from the juniors. One of the potential disruptors in Shelton or Draper or Feast could be the ones that could actually stop them from winning the titles. You don't know what's going to happen in a few years' time to cause those sort of variations, if that makes any sense. That's all. Cool. Scoreboard is not working, is it not? Oh, it isn't. Why doesn't it work? Thank you, Gene, for pointing that out. I thought the scoreboard was working absolutely fine. Why aren't you live? Okay, let's try that. Let's try that. Hopefully, Gene, I'm not working at the scoreboard. I've got something. I place something in front of me, so I don't, because it doesn't tell me, so I don't get told beforehand what's happening. Please do tell me if it goes wrong again. And all good, excellent. That is all fixed, which is fantastic. Let's see if this match could get a bit more fixed in terms of, or not match fixing, not match fixing, but in terms of can Noskova find a level here? 6-love. That's a very quick start. I did not clock that the roof was on in Beijing. Obviously, a risk of a bit of rain is in the air. McIntyre looking okay in Scotland as well, which is fantastic. Just getting clapped onto court. Silly quick question shoot. There's a good question that's popping up there about the footy. Well, Hafman did take the first set against Djokovic. Interesting. Munard in the end did beat Nishikori as well. Just to give a score. Oh, unfreeze. Ooh. May not even be a bird. I may not even be a birdie putt. Was too much on that. Anisimova here, though, serving first at the beginning of this set. Already 15-love on the board, looking to make it 7. Yes, 7 games in a row. Oh, and yeah, down into the court there. Go on, laptop. Stop being funny there. How ironic would it be and the double bagels? Oh, that would be weird justice on that one. Great serve though there by Anisimova, up to 30-15. Cheers. On the same page. I gave it to Mal. Hopefully, scoreboard is still not. Why isn't it? For whatever reason, the scoreboard is choosing not to be live. I will just make sure I try and at least reset, at least refresh the page as often as I can on that one. Okay, forehand cross court, backhand by Anisimova, forehand by Noskova, up in the air, goes for the smash, just lands in, and we're up to deuce. We're up to deuce, so maybe the first game could go on the board soon. You never know. You never know. Goes cross court, just slightly at Anisimova here, struggling to hold on here, Anisimova, what have I missed? It was going to happen at the same time. It's basically been very strong from Anisimova. Well, up until the point she's double faulted now, so we're facing break point. Things could be turning. Tom ran the Great North Run today, 1 hour and 37 minutes. Good work from Tom. Backhand up the line, forehand by Noskova, cross court by Anisimova, cross court by Noskova, up the line by Anisimova, backhand by Noskova, forehand by Anisimova. Each cross court exchange just tries to go up the line. Short ball, Anisimova runs onto it, but sends it back to Noskova, goes for the smash, and then is able to get it back to deuce. Who's your best mate? All good, mate. All good, mate. I don't really, all good, mate. I say good friends in TT. You're going to try and make me say something that's going to try and cause problems. But no, we'll get on really well. All good friends, which is brilliant, Jake in TT. What was good about start for Layman's? I think about the footy match there. As Anisimova is just still trying to hold here. Noskova trying to get on the board for the first time. Which way will it go? Which way will it go is the big question. Is it come back incoming? That's the big question. Noskova here with the advantage. Okay, Bornier goes cross court, just goes slightly long, determined to try and take it out wide. Noskova is determined. Anisimova. She's determined to try and take the ball out wide. But goes long there. Unhappy with the line call, thinking the ball at the bottom of her thing should have been called long. It wasn't, and her ball goes out. She's really struggling here to hold serve. Potentially, a bit of a long break between sets 1 and 2. Bit of a reset here for Noskova. May just be causing this. The momentum may have stayed. Just go slightly on. It does go slightly on, and that Noskova is on the board. She is on the board. She gets the break. Anisimova just a little bit lax there with some of her ball striking. Just hitting it long, not really having the control on it that she should do. Currently, 1-love up an early break here for Noskova. Up an early break. It's actually amazing with these two players how much their games are certainly looking as though they're somewhat similar, really. Both have very strong backhands. Their forehands can be an explosive weapon. It's just a case of who plays better. Who plays better today? going to play the best. Shoots by from school. Very similar styles, you're right. Yeah, but they are, aren't they? It's Hey, Sport and Politics, good to see you in the chat. We've got a few more of the regulars popping along. Double fault there, though, for Anisimova. It's not how she would want to be kicking this off. Ball in the air, tries to go down the tee, hits the net. I was John posted a video saying Amanda will win. Oh, but another double fault for Noskova. Or basically handing back a lot of the momentum to Anisimova here. I saw John posting a video. Goes up the line, backhand by Anisimova, backhand by Noskova, backhand into the net though by Amanda. Just ripped it a bit there. James, this is the first stream I've joined in a while. I especially joined. Ah, thank God. Yeah, thanks, Jake. It's good that you've joined. We've got a good bit of tennis coming up between now and the end of the season. I know that all the big Grand Slams are over, but there's still lots of lots of really interesting tennis still to go really this year. It seems to be interesting a bit in Shanghai at the moment with Djokovic being a set down. Up the line there by Noskova, looking more in control at the moment. It's coaching by Thomas Yuka. Who knew? Wow, I'm impressed. Yeah, getting some good coaches there, and that is a poor return there from Anisimova. I believe that should then be should then be 2-love. Okay, so not only has Noskova got herself onto the board, she's also now got herself a game as well. So she's 2-love up on her serve. Amanda here just needs to refine the level. She poor backhand into the net. Love 15. Just went slightly long there by Anisimova. Goes down the T4 hand up the line. Brilliant by Noskova. It's done a 180 this match. Really has done a 180. Noskova looks full of confidence right now. Ball striking is there. Anisimova making way too many mistakes, or at least being forced into those mistakes. Going long again by Anisimova. There's a chance here for Noskova. She may be able to get a double break. Oh, backhand. That was just backhand was slightly long there by Noskova. A little bit too eager. Jake still thinks Anisimova will win this set, but it's Gene pointing out, wow, how quickly things can turn. They certainly can do. I mean, it was noted yesterday in a Norrie match with Kazo, very comfortable in the first set. Norrie got absolutely whitewashed in the second. Just going off, resetting your brain can really change things. Just get started long there by Anisimova. Looks a tad rattled. Oh, brilliant backhand, though, by Anisimova to get the 30 all. Best asset in Oscar's game, James, other than the easy power. It's got to be that serve. It gets us in control of the match, so in control of the points so well. It pinpoints really well. Oh, but just a poor foot backhand there by Noskova means that Anisimova has got game point here. Greg Sport Brooksby was yeah. Yeah, what a backhand. Okay, Anisimova, ball in the air. Goes cross court. Backhand by Noskova. Backhand by Anisimova. Backhand by Noskova. Forehand by Anisimova. Forehand by Noskova. They're both. Oh, but that is a wild hit there by Anisimova. Seeing slightly lower solely down to the movement there. Yeah, movement is a problem. I say it's a problem. It's not as good as other players, and that will be something that should be judged on. Also, potentially returning could be a tad better. Even in the Sonia Cartel match, she was when some of the first serves. Okay, sometimes it can be really strong the returning, but sometimes it can be a little bit wayward in terms of getting beaten from point to point. Oh, good though forehand there by Anisimova. Get to advantage. Forehand by Anisimova, forehand by Noskova into the net. Anisimova is on the board. She's on the board. She's on the board. Okay, so as Jake points out, there is still a chance for her to be able to hold serve. Still a chance for her to be able to hold serve. I say hold serve, so potentially a chance to win this set. Noskova, who is prone to getting a little bit tight, will Amanda keep trying to hunt her down to maybe get an earlier to get the win. We'll just make sure we get that. Try and get the scoreboard update as much as possible. So breakdown, but looking a bit better now. Greenish masterclass. Is Everton later on? Must be Everton later on then. Okay, so Linda here looking to keep Valkarotis 5-love up on the hatch. Crikey. Oh, good backhand from Anisimova. Gets an early point up on the board. Jake's asking the question: who do you think will win in this set? I'm with you, Jake. At the moment, I'd still favour. I know Anisimova's a breakdown, but I'd still favour her at this stage in this set. Oh, but just gets caught out there, just gets rushed on the backhand. Something that we don't rarely see. Very low to the ground ball there from Noskova. 15-all. Anisimova will win the set 7-5. Could be that sort of scoreline. Down the tee backhand just goes long there from Anisimova. So 30-15. Ball in the air, goes to the tee, back forehand by Anisimova, backhand by Noskova. Backhand into the tram line though from Anisimova. 40-15. Noskova here looking good to go 3-1 up. Looking good to go 3-1 up. If you've got any questions, please do put them in the chat. More than happy to give them an answer. Thoughts, opinions, and anything at all. All good. Ball comes forward. Put away from Anisimova, so just cuts deficit down by 1. But particularly Anisimova will finish in the top 10 this season. Got to give her credit, yeah. That was just slightly long. It was slightly long. She's just not getting the read on the ball at the moment. Just hitting it either long or wide. A lot more this set than she was doing in the last. If she wants to win this match, she's gonna have to find that compass direction thing back. And now she's got to serve. Needs to get more first serves in. That was a bit of a tail of the certainly the back end of the first set going into the second, although she won the first set 6-love, was that her number of first serves in are low. Do needs to be improved. Backhand up the line. Noskova just about gets something onto it. Of the line, backhand by Noskova into the net. 15-love, Anisimova. Okay, so just waiting at the moment. Goes up the tee, perfectly placed up the tee. Brilliant ace there from Anisimova. Love, 30-love. 6-love, Valter. Oh, don't tell me my hatch is injured. Usually is, isn't he? Usually is injured. I better just keep an eye on as well. Oh, just lands out on that one there. So 30-15. Really good return there from Noskova, right to the baseline, and Anisimova unable to get any real control over the connection, so it goes slightly long. Goes cross court, backhand by Noskova, cross court exchange from both of them. Really using all elements of the court. Cross court into the net though by Anisimova, and that's 30 all. 30 all at the moment. She's just getting smoked. Good to see Watchalong doing well outside of Monte Carlo, I will admit. It's usually a name you only really see around the clay court season, and then usually disappears. Gene, could you give me an update on the Djokovic match? How's that going in the second set? That'd be brilliant on that one there. So still losing a few people. Good ace there though by Anisimova, just to stop a bit of a rot. Sinner and Alcaraz dominate or a future of 5 alongside each other competing at the top, which you prefer? The 5, I would go for the 5. Just to give us more, certainly variety of who could potentially win Grand Slams. I would to have 5 players that are competing over the next couple of years or so for those titles would be I think would be quite brilliant, really. Just so we know that when we get to the quarterfinal and semi-final stages, we actually are going to have matches that are going to be, worthwhile and intriguing, and it isn't just going to basically be, we're just waiting for the final, because that's not great for this. I don't think that's great for the sport if that's people's viewpoints. Djokovic is 3-2 on serve. Okay, cool. Thanks for that one, Gene. I would have thought Djokovic maybe would have broken by now, so that's interesting. But 3-2, Nyland and Noskova at the moment. Yeah, 3-2 at the moment. Would you still be fine if it's just in an Alcaraz feature? I struggle to find that interesting. I wouldn't. I think we're okay with it at the moment. I don't even think I actually would. I think we're okay with it at the moment, but I would be concerned if we have that situation. Say if minimum 3 out of the 4 next Grand Slams next year, if that's the final for those 3, then that's a concern. That would then be a bit of a concern in my books, that you can't just have those 2 players constantly at the top all the time like that. You want variety, at least some degree of variety. And I hope that next year that there will be challenges to that will look to try and prevent that from happening. Happening serving really well, almost unstoppable. Makes sense. Makes sense. Thing currently love 30 at the moment to Anisimova though. Love 30 at the moment to Anisimova, looking good to potentially get back on thing. What's people saying in the chat about this? I think also it'd be 0 jeopardy for both players. So yeah, that's what. Yeah, Dole 2. I know Carlos can lose early sometimes, but it's very unlikely. I just feel that somebody's Mensik needs to figure out is that Rose. There's a lot of players that we would look at the potential of on the men's side that, either through injury or through some facet of mindset, I've just got problems at the moment with being the main challengers when they should be. And that's always the big story. Who can be that third player to join? Third or fourth player who could be those disruptors. Who could, when we look back in the recent past, will we have a disruptor to, like a Djokovic? Will they have like a Djokovic and a Murray to a Federer and Nadal? Being those disruptors at the top of the game. And I certainly hope that there will be. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I think there are players that could potentially be those people. There's a brilliant ace there by Linda Noskova, just saves one of the two break points that she is currently facing. As I mentioned, Ben Shelton's a name that people can band around. Jack Draper's a name. Artur Fils. I would say in the short term, those three players could be the ones that will be it. You go medium to long term, you're looking at potentially a Mensik, a Fonseca, as maybe even as names of players that could, looking at 27, 28 and beyond, be those challengers. Do you think that we are past the point of hoping Rooney joins them, or can he still happen, in your opinion? I mean, we have had late bloomers. I mean, though, we certainly have had late bloomers in the past. Stan didn't necessarily take the early part of his career too seriously and was a little bit hot-headed at times and was able to, he was 30 when he won his first Grand Slam. So it's not beyond the realms of possibility, but you've got a feeling that he hasn't developed his game the way he should have to challenge them, and we haven't really seen enough. I mean, yes, he did beat he was one of the rare people to beat Alcaraz this year in as Noskova here is doing brilliantly well to try and hold on here. Will she though? Up the line, backhand by Anisimova, goes long, and Noskova 4-2 in the lead, doing okay. So would I say that Runo's beyond the point of return? There's a window, but I wouldn't have him in that tier 1 list. Yeah, I hear you, but it's just not convinced Rune will ever figure it out. Yeah, I mean, bizarrely, like I have him in a similar sort of category as maybe even maybe having that same category is potentially a Mazzetti. Really, I really like Mazzetti, but there are limitations to his game outside of clay courts, and I think which do potentially raise some questions. Sinner's losing faith in Rune. I mean, I certainly see him as somebody that can, win main tour titles still. Maybe 500s, maybe even win another 1,000 title at one that could at 1,000 that potentially breaks down with its draw. Anisimova, brilliant backhand by Anisimova there, just to keep herself in her own service game. But winning Grand Slam titles, I just don't see that happening at the moment. Could be wrong, but I don't think it will be. Maybe 3 years ago, it was his only issue. There's always something wrong with it. Goes long there by Noskova. I mean, she's doing well at the moment to try and maybe get a break chance. Let's try and go a double break up here. I mean, if Noskova certainly gets a double break up here, you would say that the set will probably be lost at that point. And we could be looking at a third. He does particularly in the court. I mean, the most sort of maybe harrowing sign of that, Gene, you could probably say, Jake saying, I'd rather be a Felix and a BA Serve beforehand merchant, but I know how that is what I wanted to look for. That is someone that that is all over the place, and it's what they want. Anisimova over here looking to hold. Comes forward, goes for the slice, but back and up in the air. Ball just about gets it back, but she's in control of the point, and it is now deuce. It is now deuce. Break point, though, here for Noskova. Break point here. Nice one, McIntyre. Nice one. Cool hand cross court on this exchange at the moment. And Noskova gets the break, so I think we're potentially looking at a third set from what was a resounding loss in the first to what looks like Noskova here. I mean, okay, she starts to serve it out. No, ask all the questions you like. It's brilliant to get those questions. So the question is, what do you think? Do you think tennis is in a good place? Do I think tennis is in a good place? I think it's in an okay place. I certainly think we're in an okay place. We've got new big stars that have popped up, which is excellent. We've got constantly lots of investment in a lot of tournaments, new places that are always looking to hold new events, loads of tennis-based sort of extra content being created. There are things that we've probably got our own little grievances about the game on. The idea of the 12-day Masters, I think people are really tired of at the moment, and that we don't know how that's going to go going forward. Potentially we could be sticking like this. Potentially, because I don't see how you're going to get them to change, because the tournaments like these 12-day events. And it's like, how do you get? I don't think you're going to get the genie back into the bottle unless there is some form of player boycott. That would, and that may be the situation where I don't think we've ever seen happen play this well. That's good to know. I'm not sure tennis is in a good place, Jake. Mixing, I would certainly say. I mean, it's where do you put a good place for a sport which is not one of the more dominant ones in the world. Of course, the most dominant sport in the world is football. And in a lot of nations tends to be that one, or if you're in the States, you have your own sports that will rank higher in terms of your appeal and what you want to do. Yeah, I'd be curious to get John on to talk about what he means for, his sort of statement there. I'm just quite curious. As Noskova here looking okay, 15 love up at the moment. It's all right, Jake. You can disagree with me. You can say, "Oh, it's in a bad place," or "It's in a good place." I make that point. It's always those middling things. It's the main thing we want is a sport where we have a range of good players playing at the top. We have at least some fluidity between those who are challenging and those who are at the top of the game. It's always right. It's always trying to find that perfect balance. We probably don't want a situation where we've got situations like in the beginning of the 2000s where there was a new Grand Slam winner every single Grand Slam. Probably not a place we want to be at. Neither do we potentially want to be in a situation where we've just got two players who are head and shoulders above the field, and they're the only two that are winning anything. Okay, it means that for one match of the year you could get people interested, but if you want to get people interested in a tournament from a much earlier stage and not just at the finals weekend. As Noskova here has set point. Noskova set point. And then puts it away. And we are into no, I like different players and more challenges at the top. No, I like different players and more challenges to the top. I do too, John. Gene. I certainly do too. As one of the good parts of the women's game actually is that we've had 4 different Grand Slam winners this year, with it being Keys getting the title that she never thought she would get. Coco picking up a second Grand Slam title, at least taking away the accusation of it being a fluke from the first time, or the title of One Slam Wonder. Swiatek overcoming a demons on the grass and winning Wimbledon, and Sabalenka retaining her title at the US Open to at least finish the year with a Grand Slam. But beyond that, though, it is a at least with them they are the main players at the top of the field. They're not complete random players every single time that are winning Grand Slams. They are at least some. We have 4 different players, but 3 of them are previous Grand Slam winners, which gave that variety in those finals and in those semis. Jake saying, I think a Sinner Alcaraz rival is fantastic, but if it means you have to completely disengage from the major until it gets to them, it's never to mean meeting in the final. I'm not sold on that. Me either. And of course, it's like what can happen, but the only way that's going to change is if there are players that come up who can challenge them. The state of the game. Her hand hurt a bit there, Noskova, but she has got, as I say, 1 set apiece. So at least it's made it a bit more competitive into this set. Noskova really woken up here. Yeah, but the big question is, how do we get to that situation that we're talking about? And is that we need a Shelton. We need, in the men's game, you need a Shelton, you need a Draper, you need a Feast to really make a mark in the next year. James, if there was one result in tennis that you'd love to change from one of your favourite players, one result that I would want to change. One result I would like to change. Oh, I would go. Bizarrely, actually, I would have liked the. If from a Draper perspective, I would have quite liked that Bublik result to have been different. Just because I would have liked to have seen Sinner versus Draper on clay. I think that could have been a really, really interesting matchup if that went if they played each other, and it would have been really interesting to have seen how those two would have faced up, given the Drapers' massive improvements on the surface across the beginning part of the year. Yeah, and given that Sinner was still coming back somewhat from was only the second tournament back from the suspension, that would have been interesting. From a Norrie perspective, one result I would have liked to have seen changed. I mean, I would definitely. I mean, I would have liked. I would have been really interesting to see. I know it's a weird one because he wasn't really anywhere near winning it, but that Wimbledon 22 semi-final against Djokovic, if that one switched, because then it would have been Kyrgios versus Norrie in the final, and that would have been interesting to have seen between those two players who could have picked up that only Grand Slam title of their career. That would be it, because I would have loved to have seen that Norrie Kyrgios final, because could Kyrgios keep his head, and then would Norrie be able to use the home crowd to get him over the line? And Norrie did take the first set and was close to going a breakup in the second in that Djokovic match. So that would be those two. Yes, that would certainly be those two. Who would you wanted to see a result change for, Jake? I'll be really cool to hear. Guess my mind almost. You guessed my mind on those ones. Cross court by Anisimova. She's though facing a break point. Goes cross court. Noskova just about gets to the ball though. I mean, sticking on this one here, like really good that both these two are competing really well. Anisimova here does not want to go an early breakdown. Does not want to go an early breakdown in this one. We've got an updated scorecard as well. There we go, updated scorecard. I would like the Azarenka Osaka. Final by a million miles, no regrets otherwise. Yeah, that would have given Azarenka a third Grand Slam title and the second one and a second different one. Just a good one to go for, that one. Cross court by Anisimova. Cross court by gets it over as well from Noskova. Again, just hitting it too long. Just too long hitting it there from Anisimova. Norrie Novak. Yeah, Norrie Novak. Not Dennis Novak. No. Yeah. Norrie Djokovic. I don't think Norrie's ever played Dennis Novak. Could be wrong there, and I probably am. Anisimova's coach really trying to give her the encouragement now. Just go slightly long on the first serve. Really, like I said, really does need to hold on to her serve here at the moment. Really does need to hold on to her serve. Goes cross court, backhand by Noskova, backhand by Anisimova, forehand by Noskova. Up the line by Anisimova, puts it away, and it is 1-love. She's on the board. She is on the board. On the board here. We've just seen Andy Murray hit a brilliant putt in Scotland. The Hatcher side, that doesn't surprise me. I see Djokovic 6-5. Pappman serving to stay in the second set. It's getting a bit tight in Shanghai as well. Yeah, Valkyrov into the fourth round. He'll really pleased with that one. Something about those Rolex events for Ballenrot that gets him going. Just floats that long, Anisimova, for unnecessary. Like, she keeps on thinking the ball's going to get called out, and it just keeps getting called in. Just hits the net just there. Backhand exchange. Goes long there by Anisimova, so we're 40-love. Looking like it's going to be a comfortable service hold here for Noskova. Yeah, looking like a comfortable service hold is going to take place. Getting concerned about Anisimova now. I won't get too concerned just yet. But it is now one game apiece. One game apiece at the moment. I've taken a day off work to watch her win, James. Well, it's still possible. Still possible. Still possible. Up in the air. Goes slightly long. Good serve there from Amanda. Goes 15-love up. Goes 15 love up at the moment. Forehand into the corner. Corner again. Uh-oh. Just over hits it. I have second videos in mind about one of many reasons. Goes slightly long there by Noskova. So that's 30-15 Anisimova. She's holding on well. She's holding on well. Backhand by Noskova. Backhand by Anisimova down the line. Noskova gets to it. Cross court, down the line, but into the net there by Anisimova. Noskova's just living with her here. No, Noskova's just living with her here. But that is a Noskova backhand long, and that just makes it a little bit more interesting. So Anisimova 40-30 up on her serve. Looking to go 2-1 up. Just long there on the serve. The service points need to be a little bit better here. Perfect serve, goes cross court, bounces from that. Oh, it is an American net. It feels like Anisimova there with the luck. The ball bounces over and it gives her a 2-1 lead. It gives her a 2-1 lead. So she's holding on, which is key. She's holding on. The big question is, can she get the can she run off of it, or is Linda going to hold on and overtake? That's the big question at the moment. Seven-point Djokovic is taking it to a third. Okay, so 30-15 at the moment to Anisimova. So we're quite there. 30-15 at the moment to Anisimova on the Linda Noskova serve. Is this the opportunity? Goes good and deep. Oh, but over hits it again. Backhand cross court. But Anisimova with a break point chance here. Break point chance. Gets the ball up. Backhand to backhand to backhand cross court, but it's wide from Anisimova. Just tries to check out too early in the point. In the points. Tries to check out just slightly too early. Does it again there. Now it's advantage Noskova. Just slightly wide there. Shanghai is extremely humid today. It looks it like it's been above 30s during the day. It's high 20s at night. High humidity. Like I really feel for the players, after such a long season to then go to Shanghai and for it to be the weather like it is. I mean, yikes. Rich and Jimby, but they were. It was one of the most remarkable ends of matches you could probably imagine. Okay, forehand up to the tee, goes up cross court again, just hits it too long. Anisimova has no control, has control at times, and then gives it away at others. And then hits it long again. So Noskova holds on to make it 2 games all. It's getting a bit more tighter. Getting a bit more tighter. Will anyone run away with this? Ball slightly wide there from Noskova, so 15 love. to the feet. Goes long there by Noskova. So Anisimova 30 love up. Currently looking okay. Currently looking okay. So out, was that in? I think that was that in, wasn't it? Yeah, it was just in. Brilliant backhand winner there by Noskova. Tries to go cross court, no luck there. Goes lovingly out wide though there by Anisimova. So Anisimova 3-2 in the lead. 3-2 in the lead. 25 minutes on the clock so far. Both players just looking to make sure that they hold serve well. Just looking to hold serve as well as they can. So, what's going to happen here is the big question. Let me know in your let me know in the chat. That'd be fantastic if you can do. I feel a break now is in DK. Why for Amanda? You feel like Amanda's going to get the break next? Interesting take. I think there's a real possibility that Amanda could get a break. Been looking the most threatening at the moment, but I know that Anisimova have faced those break points at the beginning of the set, but the last couple of service games, Amanda has been in her opponent's service games more. Goes for the drop shot. Amanda comes forward and then just punts it down the line with the backhand to make it 15 love. Here she comes, is what Jake's writing. Oh, 30 love now. 30 love. Are we on here? Are we on? Oh, just go long on that one. Opens that one up. Opens that one up. Opens that one up. Okay, so ball in the air. Forehand hit. Backhand by Linda. And it goes long. It's 2 break point chances here. 2 break point chances now on the board here for Amanda to go 4-2 up. Oh, just get a bit distracted there. This is the pressure moments. Ball not Noskova known for double faulting. Okay, second serve, real opportunity here. Amanda needs, if Amanda wants it, she's going to get a good connection. Linda here needs to make sure this serve is good. It is tricky. Goes cross court, forehand by Anisimova, forehand by Noskova, backhand by Anisimova, backhand by Noskova, backhand by both between the centre of the court, but it goes long from Noskova, and there is the break in the third. It's looking good for Anisimova at the moment. Two more games, could be 2 more holds, and she'll be walking away with her second WTA 1000 title of the season. Goes down the tee, just about gets it, comes into the net. Oh, was that in? That looked out. That was out. That was a little bit reckless there from Anisimova. Anisimova army assembled. It was a little bit reckless there. Okay, love 15 down though, but it was a good serve. Just that third ball, just a little bit, playing a little bit too safe. Oh, sorry, too dangerously. Goes cross court, backhand by Noskova, backhand by Anisimova, backhand by Noskova into the air. Anisimova watched it land, puts it cross court, perfectly placed, and that makes it 15 apiece. 15 apiece. Fans in the audience are happy. Somebody's got the new iPhone. Crikey. Only just literally been released. Goes cross court. That was that on the line. No, it was just slightly long. That was a shame because it looked good. Oh, double fault though for Amanda. Vamos Amanda from Jean. That's good. It's good to see. But goes cross. Oh, just goes slightly long there. This is looking a bit shaky. No time, not a time for a double. Exactly, no, not a time needed for double faults. Backhand by Noskova, backhand by Anisimova, backhand by Noskova, backhand by Anisimova. Cross court exchange. Oh, perfectly placed on the line. Forehand winner by Amanda. $30 all at the moment. As you say, in these situations, you just want to get the hold here. Get to 5-2. Gives you a really good lead. Cross-court exchange down the line of the forehand, but it's long from Amanda. Just overhitting it. Just overhitting it when she doesn't need to. But an ace says, I am not going to get broken. Goes down the tee, just slightly wide. Still at deuce. Oh, but a long forehand by Noskova. A bit of a give up there. Gives Amanda the advantage. Advantage here to go 5-2 up. Goes cross court. Brilliant. Now, when you need your best serve, yes, save it for the last. And that's what Amanda did there. Brilliant serve out wide. Unable to get anything really properly onto that from Noskova. And it is now 5-2. Amanda, 1 game away from the title. 1 game away. Anisimova is 1 game away from a second 1,000 title this year after winning Doha. Absolutely sure. Jean, anyone can tell me for a talking tennis brownie point, whatever we're going to call it, who was the person that she beat in that final in Doha? Talking tennis brownie points exist, but I'm gonna go for it as a system. I'm not answering that. I'm sure we're going to get Jake. He's probably going to rock off and give us the answer. Feverishly looking away at stats online. You know, off the top of your head, I want there to be able to tell me. I know the answer, but do you? The first things first, Linda Noskova. I have no idea. It was Yelena Ostapenko. Now, interestingly, okay, Amanda here, they would love to get the title won. Would like to do it on the Noskova serve, and has already got the first point. Goes long there, Noskova here. Backhand. Oh, it's on the line. It's now love 30. She is on the charge, Amanda. Amanda is on the charge. Oh, just go slightly long on a forehand there. She wanted to have done better. Just slightly long there by Noskova. Second serve to be able to go on to. Gets it in. Just up in the air. Comes into the net. Puts it away. We are two match points, 2 championship points. Okay. Will she do it? Backhand exchange. Backhand up the line. It's perfect. Of course, it's a backhand up the line winner. And Amanda Anisimova continues this sensational year in tennis. 2025 has been her year, or at least the best year of her career. 2 now WTA 1000 titles, winning her second one here in Beijing. like I said, loves playing on the continent of Asia, loves picking up titles on the continent of Asia. And she will walk away incredibly happy. This adds to a bulging ranking already confirmed for Riyadh. Potential chance to win even more big events to go there, but has a phenomenal level that will make her a factor in many of the Grand Slams going into next year. I will make sure that my page is refreshed on that one there. And she will be astounded, really happy with that win. And her father would certainly be proud. It's been a phenomenal performance. Linda came back in that second set, which was good to see. Just after it was very, as we can see from the scoreline here, very one-sided throughout a lot of those sets. Probably barring that last one, where certainly at the start, up until around 3-2, it was nip and tuck, but Anisimova put on the afterburners when she needed to, got that break, that crucial break 4-2, held on after facing some break points down in that 5-2 game, got to 5-2, absolutely stormed it against the Noskova serve in the second. Oh my God, love you, Beijing. She's very, very happy. We're happy for Anisimova. I'm glad that it turned into a match, as it really looked like it could have been a bit of a routing when the first set went 6-love. Great that to be able to do that. Great that I've had loads of you, Jake, John, Sport and Politics. I know you popped up at times in the chat, and it's been fantastic. And like I say, there's Wuhan next week, which is going to be brilliant to see if Sabalenka can win that title for the billionth time, as she always does, and all that good stuff there. Thanks everyone for joining, and goodbye.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.